Hello, for my WebPoint 2.0, I'm doing my presentation on Prezi, and this is the part where we discuss different ways and applications that it can be used in the classroom. I chose to do two different lesson plan styles because of how interactive the software is. The first would be for your basic notes and note taking. It is primarily a presentation device, much like PowerPoint, only with slight dynamic differences and everything. You see the basic template layout screen right here. On the left hand side of the screen, you see that there are different slides that I've created for a lesson for 8th grade or 9th grade physical science, where I introduce the elements and the periodic table basically. The good thing about this particular program is in the edit mode, you are able to basically go to whichever section without having to look for particular slides. And you can simply go back to the main screen. And then, as you can see, very clear and crisp. The colors are great. Has a great background. This was a pre-designed template. However, you can create your own template. Or you can simply go back into presentation mode, which I have on this other screen, and you can run it basically like a PowerPoint presentation, where you start off at the beginning, and it has animations that you can add to it that you're seeing now, different things, and then you'll move to the next slide where it talks about matter. Pops up a picture of matter that I pulled off the internet. This lesson took about maybe 15-20 minutes to make, finding all the different things. You see that it moves from one slide to the other. On certain slides, you may want to add more information, and it does provide the option for you to do that. You can move from positives or negatives like you see here, or you can go and just add simple details that the students will need or find important, and maybe throw a few surprises in there, and background information. But it is very, as you see, dynamic, very crisp and clear. It just doesn't simply remove from one slide to the other. There are far more animations that you can get into. And altogether, it's a great tool for note-taking and things like that. It is an internet-based site, so that you can do that. Most of your information is stored on the internet. It does provide the option for you to download it on iPads or even cell phones. And in that case, like say, take for instance, there was a student that missed this particular note-taking session. You could save it in your area, and they could pull up that area, and they'll be able to go back over it at any time. So it does have that capabilities. This is mostly, like I said, for note-taking and things like that, but there are other dynamics that I came up with. There's a lesson plan that I did where I created a lab template for the students. Basically, you could create something like this. You're doing a lab, provide them with background information about the lab, what they'll need to do, the items that they'll use and stuff like that. Then they will go and do their lab and do their recordings of their information, gather all their data and things like that. And they can use this to turn in for their lab report, and they can do a presentation to the class. You see right here, everything's titled out that the student would need. And then they can go and create each individual slide. You can, as I've done here, provide them with basically what they'll need to add into it and incorporate. And all they have to do is go in, click on each particular item, and they can adjust it based on that. And then if there's another section where they need to give more information, they can click on each one and add the information as needed for that. It's also great for graphic design, other technical issues like that. Like I said, it's very user-friendly. You can add particular graphs or other information, data tables, things like that. And like you just saw me there, I skipped a slide. You can go back if there's anything that you missed and pick it up. Here they'd outline their procedure with each of the different steps, and that way you know exactly what's going on with the lab, following the scientific method and all the wonderful things that go along with science. And then when they've finished all of it and they've drawn their conclusions and wrote everything out, they turn in the lab report. And like I said, you can give them another grade based on their presentation. I find this tool to be very useful. And I think that if you want to invest into it, I think it would be a great tool for any classroom, not just science. And there you go. Those are my lesson plans that I created using Prezi.